Does anyone else find it interesting that just a couple of months after Lizzo threatened to quit everything, take her money, and ghost, that a lawsuit arises out of nowhere that threatens the very money she thought would finance her new life? Almost like someone was saying, "What money?"
That time Lizzo threatened to take her money and quit the industry. Then less than 2 months later the industry was like,
Your money? What money?
Let's face it, Lizzo has been playing the Hollywood game for a long time and promoting a certain agenda. From her being way too open about her intimate life, or like a lot of the other artists, exposing her body in ways that are completely unnecessary. And the industry has been rewarding that behavior, like making sure her media coverage has always been slanted towards almost over the top support of the talented artists. So when these new allegations came out and the coverage was almost across the board painting Lizzo as all kinds of horrible, it makes you wonder, who in the industry did Lizzo tick off? Or what did she reject? Because not only did this lawsuit threaten her money, but it tried to tarnish her entire brand of body positivity regardless of size. It reminds me of something Michael Jackson used to say about how the industry builds people up just to tear them down. You get a talented celebrity who has been on the receiving end of almost over-the-top praise and adulation for just about everything they do. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, accusations are leveled against them. And depending on how the media coverage goes, the tide of public opinion shifts. And now that same celebrity who people were crazy about is now ridiculed and picked apart. That's the way Hollywood seems to work. If someone can convince the artist that they need more than their God-given talents to reach great heights, they can then convince that same artist to promote whatever the current agenda is, and later on, use those same things to keep the artist in line. So now it seems like Lizzo's habit of oversharing and blurring the lines between personal and professional boundaries are being used against her in this lawsuit that's been brought by 3 of her former backup dancers. Because while some of the accusations might make you think, yeah, right, the other accusations have Lizzo's own interviews to seemingly lend some validity to them. For example, Lizzo, who has been on the receiving end of some of the most despicable and outrageous body-shaming comments, is now being accused of doing that to one of her backup dancers who was fired. Sounds like a WTF moment, right? We've all seen the comments that have had Lizzo in tears on her social media accounts on more than one occasion. So it's hard to believe that Lizzo, of all people, would inflict that same trauma on others. But other complaints of intimate harassment at explicit venues can be linked with Lizzo's own interviews about her visits to these establishments, which can then have people taking a second look at all of the accusations. So regardless of the fact that even in the legal documents, the dancers never say they were explicitly forced to go anywhere or do anything, that it was their own perception that others who had fun with Lizzo got better gigs and perks like tropical vacations, which made them voluntarily go to clubs with Lizzo and take pictures like they were having a great time. Regardless of the fact that the one dancer who accused Lizzo of body shaming her and terminating her employment because of weight explicitly states in the lawsuit that she was fired for secretly recording Lizzo while she was giving them notes on their performances. The very fact that Lizzo initially played the Hollywood game so that she's now on video making explicit raunchy remarks, which can now be used against her, makes me look at her tweet from a few months ago in a completely different light. So at the end of May, Lizzo was yet again on the receiving end of somebody's body shaming stupidity. So she tweeted in response, "Y'all don't know how close I be to giving up on everyone and quitting and enjoying my money and my man on an effing farm." And then, just a couple months later, at the end of July, this lawsuit is filed? Does anyone else think that after years of playing the game, Lizzo was giving someone a veiled message that she didn't need the fame or the industry? She could just take the money that she had made and live happily and sufficiently without Hollywood. But then, had her bluff called with this lawsuit?
That time Lizzo threatened to take her money and quit the industry. Then less than 2 months later the industry was like,
Your money? What money?
Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have fun today.